All right, let's be honest. Have you ever dropped a ton of money on a brand new driver, one that promises maximum forgiveness, and then on your very first miss hit, you watch that ball sail directly into the trees? Yeah, we've all been there. Today, we're going to dive into the science behind some new tech that claims it might, just might, finally fix that.
I mean, it's the question that drives us all crazy, right? You shell out all this cash for the latest and greatest driver, the one that's supposed to be the most forgiving thing ever made. And then you catch it just a little off the center of the face, and bam, it's hooking or slicing like crazy. So what is the deal? Why does this so-called forgiveness still feel so, well, unforgiving?
Okay, so to really get what's new, we've got to first talk about the old guard. For decades, whenever you heard the word forgiveness in golf, it all came down to one thing: moment of inertia, or as you've probably heard a million times, MOI.
So what on earth is MOI really? Well, in the simplest terms, it's just a number that tells you how much the club head fights against twisting when you miss the sweet spot. You hit it on the toe, the face wants to snap shot. You hit it on the heel, it wants to fly open. A high MOI means it resists that twisting really well. But here's the catch, and this is super important. It's only measuring that resistance on one single axis.
A great way to think about it is like a perfectly balanced spinning top. You get it going and it just spins smoothly. It doesn't really wobble side to side on its main axis. That's kind of what MOI is. It's stability in that one specific direction, right at that moment of impact. But as we all know from painful experience, a golf swing is a little more chaotic than a spinning top.
And that chaos is where this new idea comes into play. Enter the new kid on the block, product of inertia, or POI. And the whole idea here is that POI is this hidden force, this variable that good old MOI just completely ignores.
Okay, so here's the absolute key difference. While MOI is looking at that twisting on just one axis right at impact, POI is looking at the club's resistance to twisting and wobbling across 3 different axes. We're talking X, Y, and Z. So this isn't just about what happens in that split second of impact. It's about how stable the club head is through the entire swing. You know what it's like? It's like getting that one shopping cart at the grocery store with the wobbly wheel. You know the one I'm talking about? It doesn't just roll forward, it shimmies and shakes and pulls you all over the aisle. That wobble is what POI is trying to measure and eliminate. A low POI club is supposed to be like a cart with 4 perfect wheels. It just wants to go straight, resisting all that crazy 3-dimensional flutter. So let's just put these two side by side to make it crystal clear. MOI, that's our stable spinning top. It's all about stability right at impact, on that one single axis. POI, that's our non-wobbly shopping cart weir. It's looking at stability through the whole swing, across all 3 axes. So the big argument here is that POI is giving us a much more complete picture of what forgiveness actually looks like in the real world.
Okay, so this is all great physics, but how does it actually show up in a club you can go out and buy? Well, Cobra Golf has jumped on this big time. Their whole new OPTM driver lineup is built around this idea of lowering that product of inertia. So let's take a look at what they're actually claiming this tech will do for you and me.
All right, let's cut through the marketing jargon. When they say significantly reduced side spin, what they're really saying is that the club head doesn't wobble as much, so it's easier to deliver a square face at impact. If you're someone who fights a big slice or a nasty hook, that's aimed right at you. Tighter dispersion? That just means your good hits and your bad hits should end up closer together. And increased accuracy? Well, that's the holy grail, isn't it? It means your shots should just start closer to your target line right off the bat.
This all sounds pretty good, right? But let's get down to brass tacks. Where does the rubber meet the road? For us, it's on our mishits. So how is this POI tech supposed to make our worst shots, well, less bad?
Okay, let's talk about the 2 misses we all know and love. You catch one on the toe, what usually happens? The face twists shut, you get that gear effect, and the ball hooks. The idea with low POI is that it fights that twisting action to reduce that hook spin. Now flip it around. You hit it on the heel. The face tends to twist open, and you get that slice. A low POI club, again, is designed to keep that face from opening up so much. The bottom line, the goal for all of this is super simple. Less curve on your misses, which hopefully means more balls in the short grass.
Now look, this science is fascinating, but the million-dollar question is, does it actually work for your swing? And the best part is, you don't need a fancy launch monitor to find out. You can actually test this whole idea for yourself.
So here's what you're going to do next time you're at the range. First, just hit about 10 balls with your normal swing. Get a baseline, see your typical shot pattern. Then you're going to intentionally hit 5 balls off the toe. Yep, on purpose. After that, hit 5 balls off the heel.
Now, when you look at the results, you're looking for two specific things. How far offline does the ball start? And then, how much does it curve in the air? In theory, a club with a lower POI should show way less curve on those toe and heel misses compared to your old driver.
So that really brings us back to the big question, doesn't it? Is this whole product of inertia thing the actual future of forgiveness in golf? Or is it just a really, really clever new way to market something we already kind of knew? You know, the truth is probably somewhere in between. But at the end of the day, the only thing that really matters is whether it works for you and your game.